Sound the foghorn. It is Victory Monday. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the return of That 49ers Show. I am your humble host, Brian Snow. I've been away for a while, had to deal with some family things, make sure they're okay. I had some health issues. I am doing better. Follow us all over the place at SNWMN Multimedia. That's one project I did not get to. You see it on your screen. Those are the current IDs right now, but I'm uniforming everything. I'll get a chance to work on that tonight. All right, let's get down to business. We got 17 folks in here. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit smash that subscribe button. And if you are feeling so kind, you can donate to the cause as well. $ Tallman Dr. K50 via Cash App and at Snowman2172 via PayPal. Well, we did it again. The 49ers have clinched the NFC West with a 45-29 victory over the Arizona Cardinals. That gives them a sweep of the Cardinals for the second consecutive year, and it gives the 49ers their second consecutive NFC West title. First time they've gone back-to-back in the NFC West since the 2011-2012 season. Man, oh man, 3 touchdowns for Christian McCaffrey, who in my eyes is I'm going to talk about this later on in the show, but he's being touted as an MVP candidate, and rightfully so. I mean, he's been our MVP since he got to the Bay. Since we traded for him, he's been everything. And he missed some time this year after the Cleveland game. Deebo Samuel missed some time, but it's all about Christian McCaffrey. He won't get 2,000 yards rushing, but I suspect he'll get 1,500. And in wrapping up the game yesterday, McCaffrey scored 3 touchdowns. Deebo Samuel added 2 scores, and the 49ers with a season-high 45 points and a 45-29 win over the Cardinals on Sunday. And, of course, the main character being touted for MVP is Brock Purdy. Purdy said, quote, "In high school, I'd come watch the Cardinals, and now I'm playing on the field. It's so cool. Definitely something I'll look back on in life and be thankful," close quote. That was Purdy's first start at State Farm Stadium, where he finished 16 of 25 for 242 yards and threw 4 touchdowns. He shook off a stinger and returned to the game, and Brock Purdy was just Brock Purdy, and Christian McCaffrey was just Christian McCaffrey. Purdy threw a pass to McCaffrey, and McCaffrey was so wide open that he made the catch, fell down, got up, and sprinted the rest of the way into the end zone for the touchdown. 6 in a row for the 49ers, and they got a slobber knocker coming up on Christmas night against the Baltimore Ravens. That will be at Levi's. That will be at Levi's Stadium. Now let's do 5 takeaways, and I'm so glad that my EP, the EP of all EPs, Cole Johnson, set this up. Let's do our 5 takeaways from Sunday. Here's the first one. Deebo Samuel extends his touchdown streak. He's now scored in 4 consecutive games beginning on Thanksgiving night in week 12. And Purdy threw him a perfect pass, and he was so wide open. He was so wide open, it wasn't even funny. Okay. And as the saying goes, there's nothing you could do about that. There's absolutely nothing you could do about that. I mean, Deebo was just so wide open. He was stunned to be that open. And when I saw it, I was stunned that he was that wide open also. I was stunned that he was that the Cardinals would leave him that wide open. Well, that's the first takeaway from Sunday. Charvarius Ward, Moody Ward, had his first career pick 6. It came on a 4th and 3 in the first quarter with the game tied at 7. Ward read a pass perfectly intended for the Cardinals tight end, picked it off, and raced 66 yards for the touchdown. Trey McBride was the targeted receiver. Mooney Ward said, "You'll get nothing and like it, and we're going to get the lead." And that pick six gave us the lead at 14-7, and it was a lead that the 49ers would never relinquish. I mean, the Cardinals got as close as 14-13 with 2 field goals in the second quarter, but there was nothing else the Cardinals could do. Mooney Ward said, quote, "I had a big smile on my face probably for the whole first half after the touchdown. I feel like I made a great play. I would like to thank God, first of all. 2 picks, and that's the first time that's ever happened in my career, even in high school, college, and junior college. I'm definitely happy and thankful for that." Ward snatched a second interception late in the fourth quarter to, in essence, put the game away, but his pick six put the game away. The defense, here's the third takeaway. The defensive front was lacking due to injury. Eric Armstead and Javon Hargrave still are out. Early word is they'll be back for the Christmas clash against Baltimore. But they were so disruptive against the Cardinals. In the past 5 games, 22 total sacks, continue with the defensive front adding another 3 in week 15. And let me show some love for a first-round pick that not many people will. His name is Javon Kinlaw. I was talking with Mike Debate during the 2020 draft, and we both saw that Javon Kinlaw would be a great fit for the 49ers. He just hadn't had a chance to show what he can do because he's been injured. Well, he made his second start of the year. He got things started bringing down Murray for a loss of 7 on the second offensive series for the Cardinals. The sack came from the first 15 and backed up Arizona to their own 48. Even though they were forced to settle for a 58-yard field goal, Kinlaw still got the sack. It was a similar story with defensive lineman Nick Bosa and his second quarter sack on Arizona's next offensive possession. Bosa got home on Murray for a loss of 4, forced a fumble, which the Cardinals recovered. Arizona pulled off one more passing play after failing to convert, kicked another 43-yard field goal. That made it 14-13. The third sack of the day came in the third quarter, split by Chase Young and Fred Warner. Then, of course, there was the brief injury to Brock Purdy. He took a stinger. He sat for a minute. He said he could have popped up and ran off the field, but he wanted to sit and make sure everything subsided. It did. Sam Darnold entered the game for 3 plays, held the Niners, kept the Niners going, and Purdy went on to complete the series for a 10-play, 75-yard drive with a 5-yard touchdown pass to Christian McCaffrey. That made the score 21-13. Purdy said, quote, "I've had a stinger before, so when I got hit, I probably could have popped up if someone could grab my arm and pulled me up. It was on my left side. I just laid there for a second, sort of let it calm down and stuff, and was able to get up and go to the tent. From there, it got better. Literally, as time went on, it just started going away, and that's why I was able to get back in there mid-drive," close quote, from our starting quarterback, Brock Purdy. And then there's Christian McCaffrey. 3-touchdown day. After failing to reach the end zone in week 14, McCaffrey netted 2 receiving and a rushing touchdown against the Cardinals. McCaffrey got things started with a 5-yard touchdown reception late in the second quarter, provided an offensive boost on the third quarter opening drive, following a 35-yard reception by tight end extraordinaire George the Animal Kittle. Purdy spun outside to his left, hitting a wide open McCaffrey. He fell, got up, and completed the 41-yard touchdown. McCaffrey said, quote, "I didn't see the ball until like halfway in the air, and I was just happy we connected." Brock made a great play of scrambling and sticking with it. He scored again late in the third quarter on a 1-yard touchdown run to extend the advantage to 35-16. With his third touchdown, McCaffrey tied Miami Dolphins running back Raheem Mostert for the league in touchdowns. The magic number is 20. and everyone is familiar with Raheem Mostert, former 49er, did great work for us. Now he's doing great work for Miami. And let's take a listen to Kyle Shanahan after the Cardinals game. That's Kyle Shanahan after the ball game yesterday. That's courtesy of Twitter. That's courtesy of the San Francisco 49ers on Twitter. The job is not done. The job is definitely not done. There's so much more to do because we want to end this season in Las Vegas, hoisting the Lombardi Trophy for the 6th time. I'm covering that game no matter what. And I will absolutely cry tears of joy. I've already seen it in my mind that I will cry tears of joy when that happens. I'm serious. I will cry tears of joy should the 49ers get their 6th Super Bowl. I've seen the first 5. I want to see number 6 and 7 and more. But we got a long way to go before that. We got a ways to go before we complete this show. Coming up next after the break, we'll take a look at the NFC playoff. We'll take a look at the NFC playoff picture with the Niners, the Cowboys, and the Eagles all clinching. And Brock Purdy touts teammate Christian McCaffrey as NFL MVP. But I'm going to tell you why there should be a split in the MVP voting. There's a lot to talk about here. We're just getting started on that 49ers show, the return thereof. Want to thank y'all for being patient with me. Going to step aside for a break, and we'll talk MVP and NFC playoff picture when y'all get back.
Attention sports fans, looking for the ultimate gear and apparel to show your team pride? Look no further than Fanatics, the #1 destination for sports enthusiasts. Visit snowmanmultimediasports.com today and shop a wide selection of officially licensed merchandise from your favorite teams and players. From jerseys to hats to accessories to collectibles, Fanatics has it all. Don't miss out on the chance to elevate your game day experience. Head over to snowmanmultimediasports.com/fanatics and gear up like a true fan with Fanatics. Officially licensed everything. Are you ready to upgrade your coffee game? Prepare for an invasion of flavor with Invader Coffee. It's the caffeinated elixir that fuels champions, the blend that pushes boundaries. Whether you're battling deadlines or exploring uncharted territories, Invader Coffee has your back. Join the invasion at invadercoffee.com and taste the difference for yourself. Use the code SNOWMAN for 15% off your first order. Invader Coffee, veteran owned.
Man, oh man, welcome back to That 49ers Show. Thank you all for joining us here on the program this evening. Let's take a look at the NFC playoff picture. Now, before I go into this, there was a lot of chatter coming my way saying that the Eagles would be the first to clinch a playoff berth. There was talk that, I hate saying this aloud, those Cowboys would be the first to clinch a playoff berth, not to mention a division title. And yet, who was the first team to do both in back-to-back weeks? That's right. That would be our San Francisco 49ers. They clinched the NFC West. They clinched a playoff spot last week thanks to the Giants beating the Packers. And all they had to do was beat the daylights out of the Arizona Cardinals. They did, and they win the NFC West for the second consecutive year, like I said. But, man, I want to tell you, it's not easy. It is not easy. Here's where the playoff picture stands during Week 15, and as we do this show, the Eagles are taking on the Seahawks live, and at last count, the Eagles led 7-0. Niners are 11-3. They hold the top spot in the NFC. They became the first team to clinch a berth in Week 14, and on Sunday, first to wrap up a division. And with wins in hand against the Eagles and the Cowboys, the Niners continue to march toward home court advantage. But we got Baltimore coming in, and Baltimore is no joke. I'm really hoping to cover in that game on Christmas night. Host the Ravens, then we go to Washington to face the Redskins, and then we finish up against the Rams in Santa Clara in Week 18. And I have a feeling I'll get a large helping from my buddy, the playmaker, the fabulous host of Ramley Talk. If you haven't had a chance to check out Ramley Talk, please do. Eagles hold the 2 seed at 10-3. They're playing the Seahawks right now. Matter of fact, let's get a score from the Eagles and the Seahawks. And as I mentioned, at last count, it was 7-0 in favor of the Eagles. It is now 10-0. That's right now with, I beg your pardon, 1:50 left in the second quarter. And it's 10-0 in favor of the Philadelphia Eagles. Seahawks have the ball. They're just under the 2-minute warning. They clinched a spot, the Eagles did, courtesy of our win against the Cardinals. The Cowboys' loss also put Philly back atop the division, whose path the Eagles already controlled. Went out against a very manageable schedule, and the reigning NFC champs will again be kings of the NFC East. After tonight, they host the Giants, they host the Cardinals, and then they go to the Giants. So they see the Giants 2 of the last 3 weeks in the season. In the third spot are the Detroit Lions. They lead the NFC North, and they had a big win against the Denver Broncos, 42-17. That came on Saturday night. Jared Goff threw for five touchdowns in that game. And that came a few hours after Minnesota lost in Cincinnati in overtime. A loss by Seattle tonight will clinch a playoff spot for Detroit, and one more win will secure the Lions' first ever NFC North title, because remember, the last division that the Lions won was 1991, and at the time it was the NFC Central Division title. So this would be the Lions' very first NFC North title. They go to Minnesota to play the Vikings, then they go to Dallas to play the Cowboys, and then they host Minnesota. So they get the Vikings 2 out of the last 3 times. In the fourth spot are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They lead the NFC South. They got a huge win at Green Bay with Baker Mayfield throwing for 380 yards, and they coupled that with an Atlanta loss. Also served the Bucs well, though New Orleans is still looking with a 7-7 record and eyeing a season split in a few weeks. Buccaneers host the Jaguars, then they host the Saints, and then they finish at Carolina. And Lord knows Carolina wants the season to end. Your wild cards in the first spot are the Dallas Cowboys. Combination of losses by other teams secured a playoff for the Cowboys prior to kickoff, and then the Cowboys went out and got pummeled by the Buffalo Bills. They go to Miami, then they host Detroit, and then they go to the Redskins to close the season. The sixth spot belongs to the Minnesota Vikings. Excuse me. And they led that game. They led the game Saturday against Cincinnati 17-3, but lost in overtime 27-24. And don't look now, but the Los Angeles, the remaining schedule for the Vikings, they host the Lions, host the Packers, and then they go to Detroit to close the season. And don't look now, in the 7th spot are those damn Rams, those Los Angeles Rams, with a win over Washington and a 5-4 mark in NFC games moves them ahead of the Saints into the last playoff spot. But the Rams will host New Orleans on Thursday for the honor of keeping it, and a massive tiebreaker that comes with it. They host the Saints on Thursday, then they go to the Giants, and then they finish at the San Francisco 49ers. And that is a look at the NFC playoff picture as we see it right now. Brock Purdy, so humble and a damn good football player. The question has been raging, and I mean it has been raging. Who is the front runner for the NFL's most valuable player? Is it Dak Prescott? Is it Lamar Jackson? Is it Brock Purdy, who's the front runner right now? Is it Christian McCaffrey? You know, Colin Cowherd said something this morning, and it's so true, that the NFL doesn't want to give the most valuable player to running backs. They don't. They don't. Well, I will give you 2 reasons right now why the NFL Most Valuable Player Award should be split between Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey, you already know. You already know what he can do and how much value he brings to the 49ers. He brings a lot more value to the 49ers than he did to Carolina because Carolina overused him. I said it a lot of times, and I will continue to say it. Now, with that in mind, Brock Purdy and Cam Newton. You know what? Cam Newton said that the 49ers are not winning because of Brock Purdy. Let me say that again. He said, Cam Newton did on his 4th and 1 podcast, that they are not winning, they meaning the 49ers, are not winning because of Brock Purdy. Are you mad? He should get one half of the MVP right now. McCaffrey should get the other half. Do you realize how much of a change in the quarterback position Brock Purdy has brought to the 49ers? I mean, you lose Jimmy G last year to a broken ankle. All right? You jettison Jimmy G. You roll the dice on Brock Purdy, seeing what he can do. Matter of fact, let me bring up Brock Purdy's stats right now. Real-time research coming up. He threw for 242 yards yesterday. All right? 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. The last four games will start with Thanksgiving night at Seattle. 209, 314, 368, and then 242. And yesterday broke a string of 7 consecutive games where he is averaging 70% on the season, and his regular season total has dropped to 69.8. But he's now tied for the lead in touchdown passes with 29. He's only thrown 7 interceptions on the year, and he has thrown for, ready for this number, 3,795 yards. Oh, and the passer rating, 119. 119. For his career, his passer rating is 115. He's reaching Steve Young type levels. Okay? And he threw a perfect game this year against the Buccaneers. So Brock Purdy is one reason why the NFL should be split. The other reason is Christian McCaffrey. And you know the one thing that has everybody looking at Christian McCaffrey? Christian McCaffrey, for the first time since his 1,000 season in Carolina, is healthy. 3 of the last 4 games, he's rushed for over 100 yards. Okay? He's got 6 on the year. He's got 1,292 yards. He is averaging, ready, 5.3 yards per carry. Okay? Let me say that again. Christian McCaffrey is averaging 5.3 yards per carry. He's got 13 rushing touchdowns, 7 receiving touchdowns, a total of 20 on the year. I mean, what can you do? What can you do? It's going to be hard to not give the MVP to Brock Purdy. It's going to be extremely hard not to give the MVP to Christian McCaffrey. But Brock Purdy touted Christian McCaffrey as the MVP. That is incredible. But that's how the 49ers operate. That's how they are. That's how they are. And this is a team-oriented. This is team-oriented. Okay? This is team-oriented. So it's not crazy to think, although a lot of people will call me crazy to think, that the MVP should be split. And I feel it should be split between Christian McCaffrey and Brock Purdy. Simple as that. Simple as that. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Let's take a break. And when we come back, we will look at our next opponent, which is the Baltimore Ravens. And oh boy, if this game at Levi Stadium is anything like the one we played in Baltimore in 2019, then sit back, relax, and strap it down, because we're going to be in for a slobber knocker, because the Baltimore Ravens are no joke. We'll take a look at their season. We'll take a look at the line, and y'all ain't going to believe the line coming out. All right? Y'all are not going to believe the betting line coming out. I may have to put a little cheese on this game. We'll see what happens. Back with the preview of the Baltimore Ravens on Christmas night. This is That 49ers Show on Snowman Multimedia.
Hey everybody, Snowman here. Looking for the best way to experience live events? Well, SeatGeek has you covered. With just a few taps on your phone, you can find the best seats for concerts, sports, theater, and more. Don't miss out on unforgettable moments. Download the SeatGeek app today and get ready for an experience like no other. Each ticket is vetted for authenticity and ranked on a 1 to 10 scale. And right now, if you sign up and use the code Snowman, you will get $20 off of your first purchase. That's only through the power of SeatGeek, where fans can fan. Are you ready to upgrade your coffee game? Prepare for an invasion of flavor with Invader Coffee. It's the caffeinated elixir that fuels champions, the blend that pushes boundaries. Whether you're battling deadlines or exploring uncharted territories, Invader Coffee has your back. Join the invasion at invadercoffee.com and taste the difference for yourself. Use the code Snowman for 15% off your first order. Invader Coffee, veteran owned.
Welcome back to this edition of That 49ers Show as we get you ready for Week 16. Yes, Week 16. Can you believe it? Of the NFL season. And boy, for those of you that have been following along all year, even though I've taken quite a bit of a hiatus due to health concerns, I don't know how short or long I should make this. I should make this preview, but my wonderful executive producer Cole Johnson said run with it, so I'm going to run with it. So far, the Ravens are 11-3. They became the first team to clinch a playoff spot, courtesy of their 23-7 when Lamar Jackson threw for 23-7 win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let me complete that thought. Lamar Jackson is going to be he's going to be a tough cookie. If we had problems with Kyler Murray yesterday, although we're getting reinforcements back on defense, Lamar Jackson going to be something else, man. I have loved Lamar Jackson since Louisville. That's right. My Dr. K will be proud of me for saying it the correct way. Louisville. Not Louisville, Louisville. Anyway, he threw for 171 yards, rushed for 97, and he is going to be the reason that he is going to give our defense fits. He's going to give us fits. I know he is. This is going to probably be a low-scoring game since we scored 3 straight games of 17 points, because that Baltimore defense ain't nothing to play with either. It really isn't. You know, Purdy may win the MVP, but Lamar Jackson is the most valuable quarterback in the NFL this season, and I have no complaint about that whatsoever. It could be a 20-17 game, or, strange as this sounds, it could be a 50-point game. The defenses just may decide to take the night off and just sit. It could, you know what? This has the potential, and I'll restate it. This has the potential of going 2 ways. One, it could go the way of a defensive slobber knocker and have it be 20-17. Justin Tucker or Jake Mooney could walk everybody off. Okay? Or as strange as I am thinking this could be a 50-point game. This could be Boston College, Miami from 1984. It could go either way because you have 2 of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the NFL right now. And contrary to Cam Newton's belief, Brock Purdy is a game changer. Lamar Jackson is very much a game changer. Lamar Jackson is one of the most dangerous quarterbacks in the NFL, and kudos to Lamar. He's been healthy this year. He's absolutely been healthy, and he has been dynamite. He has been dynamite, and he's got weapons all over the place just as Brock Purdy does. So this could wind up being a 40 or 50-point game, or it could be a defensive slobber knocker. It could go. It seriously can go either way. That game comes your way on Christmas night. I beg your pardon. And last but not least, let's take a look at the odds coming out. The early odds coming out. Ravens visit the 49ers on Christmas night. That's the game of the day. Forget the NBA. Y'all want to watch this one. This is the game of the day on Christmas night. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to do some live research right now. Let me get a drink. And we're going to go to our sponsor, betus.com, and we're going to take a look at the Week 16 odds for that game. Because, brother, that game's going to be something else. That's going to be the highest rated game during the regular season this year. Watch. It's going to be the highest rated game in the regular season this year. All right. The 49ers coming out. You ready for this? Are laying 5.5 against Baltimore. And I expect that number. And you know what? I expect that number to climb as the Niners get reinforcements. As the Niners get reinforcements, I expect that number to climb. But the 49ers coming out are getting 5.5. And that's crazy. That is crazy for them to have that big a number. And it's a big number with these two teams. It's a big number with these two teams. Both teams have a lot of flaws because the Cardinals hung 200 rushing yards on us Sunday. Definitely have to clean that up. Most definitely have to clean that up. Okay? And the other thing we have to clean up is that when we face a mobile quarterback, when we get to him, we must finish him. And I'm talking about bringing him down for a sack. When we get to him, we got to finish the job. We were able to get to Kyler Murray 3 times. And that's huge, given the mobility of Kyler Murray. We got to do the same for Lamar Jackson, because Lamar Jackson is an improvisationalist like I've never seen in my life. And I'm talking about the level of Steve Young. And anybody who's watched Steve Young for 13 years in San Francisco know what I'm talking about. So it's going to be something else to see what the 49ers can do against Lamar Jackson. And conversely, it's going to be interesting to see what the Ravens can do against Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey. There are going to be weapons all over the place, and I wouldn't be surprised if this number, 5.5, it's courtesy of betus.com, climbs. And I also wouldn't be surprised that the over-under, which is now set at 46, climbs as well. Because that's going to be a stupid good game. And possible Super Bowl preview, maybe. Let's take one more final break, and I'm going off on Cam Newton. I can't help it. I can't hold it. I know I'm supposed to save this for tomorrow. And I'll reprise it. I'll reprise it tomorrow. But doggone it, Cam Newton, you need to shut up, and you need to have 1,000 seats right now. Okay? Okay. I'll wrap it up after this.
Sports bettors, listen up. Your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back and in our 30th year of action. With live in-game betting, incredible odds with daily odds boosters, props and parlays, fast payouts, and exceptional one-to-one customer service, we got it all. And when you sign up today and use the code SNOWMAN, you will get a 125% deposit match on your deposit. Log on to betus.com or call 800-792-3887. That's 800-79-BET-US. BetUS.com, where the game begins. Attention sports fans, looking for the ultimate gear and apparel to show your team pride? Look no further than Fanatics, the #1 destination for sports enthusiasts. Visit snowmanmultimediasports.com today and shop a wide selection of officially licensed merchandise from your favorite teams and players. From jerseys to hats to accessories to collectibles, Fanatics has it all. Don't miss out on the chance to elevate your game day experience. Head over to snowmanmultimediasports.com/fanatics and gear up like a true fan with Fanatics. Officially licensed everything.
Welcome back to That 49ers Show. I am researching the comments made by one Cameron Jarrell Newton. When it comes to my quarterback, Brock Purdy, and let me I'm finding it as we go. There it is. All right, found it. This is from Cam Newton's Fourth and One podcast. Okay, you heard it. Everybody's heard it. And now I'm about to go off for the time that I have remaining. So, Brock Purdy is not a game changer. So, Brock Purdy's not a game changer. That is what you are saying. Of course, later he walked back his comments when all the backlash came down. But hey Cam, were you ever a game changer? Because you admitted yourself there are games where you didn't want to be a game changer. I may have gotten that quote wrong. If I've gotten that wrong, I apologize. I apologize well in advance. I'm just going off of what I've heard, and there are some things I may have heard incorrectly, and I may quote incorrectly. And if that is the case, I truly apologize. But Brock Purdy is a game changer. Period. Do you see how much he has lifted this 49er offense since he's been the quarterback of the 49ers? They're not winning because of him. Then tell me how their offense in production scoring jumped 6 full points. Tell me how, if he's not a game changer, I want you to tell me how. Tell me how they're averaging 32 and a half points per game since Purdy has taken over as the quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers. I want you to tell me how he leads the league in touchdown passes. He's thrown only 7 interceptions, and 5 of those came in a 3-game losing streak. I want you to tell me how that since Brock Purdy has been healthy the entire season. Now, I will say this about Cam's point when he said, I'm asking you not to lose the game. Brock has lost 3 games, okay? The big one was in Minnesota. I'm not counting Cleveland because he put the 49ers in a position to win. Jake Moody just missed a 41-yard field goal. I'm not counting Cincinnati because, hey, Cincinnati punched us in the mouth. And Brock Purdy committed 2 turnovers. One in the red, one of them in the red zone. Okay. But even given all of that, Brock Purdy is very much a game changer. Tell me how he's not a game changer with 3,795 yards. Tell me how he is not a game changer. If you watched the game yesterday, he was able to recognize the pressure, spin out of the pocket, and then find a wide open Christian McCaffrey. You know, Cam, it is possible to have more than one game changer on your team, and the 49ers have many of them. Brock Purdy, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Trent Williams, Nick Bosa, Chase Young. Shall I go on? It's possible to have more than one game changer, and it's possible that Brock Purdy is that damn good. Shout to Triple H. Brock Purdy is that damn good. And I believe I want to be wrong when I say this, and I believe that it pisses you off royally that he's doing what you wish you could still do. It pisses you off because you see the potential of one Brock Purdy. No one knew who the hell he was last year. Everybody knows this year. Did you see his performance in Philadelphia? Did you see the fact yesterday that the Cardinals defense didn't touch him? First game this year that the 49ers did not allow a sack. And remember, their offensive line is in pieces. And they didn't allow a sack yesterday. Not one. The offensive line is getting better at protecting Brock Purdy. And it's also getting better at rolling the pocket and getting Purdy out of danger. Now, he's going to have a hell of a test against that Baltimore defense on Christmas night. Now, I'm not saying otherwise. Both quarterbacks could go down 3-4 times in the game. I already know that. I already feel that. And I'm not tripping about that. But you're tripping and thinking that you're tripping and thinking that Brock Purdy is not a game changer. So, see you later, alligator. That'll do it for this edition of That 49ers Show. I'll say more tomorrow on Brock Purdy, but for now, that is all. That's it, and that's all. God bless you. I hope to have the Ravens and 49ers on Monday night, Christmas night. I want to say thank you all for being patient with me and this show. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling great, and I'm getting back to work. Good night, everybody.